All right, so I got a reaction coming at y'all real quick. I seen this the other day on TikTok, and I thought it was interesting because a lot of times, especially on these panels, these type of conversations come up, and men will say this, like, you talking like you want a father, you don't want a husband. Because a lot of the times when the way that they speak, they don't want any responsibility. But this is my first time hearing it verbalized like this from two women. So let's get into it.
My husband can't be my dad, and I had to separate, and I'm literally sifting through, like, we went through this journey. He didn't require that of me. It was something that I found in myself, but like, I'm articulating it for the first time because you helped me find that place, because you mom. But like, I felt like a husband would come and make me feel and take responsibility for me in a way a father does. But here's the difference.
Let me address that right quick. Why would a woman think like that? Where you would want a husband to come and take responsibility for you the way your father did. It's because you wasn't given no responsibilities by your father. That's an issue. Now, I understand, you know what I'm saying, some men treat their daughters like princesses and stuff like that, and they don't have no responsibility in the house. They don't have nothing that's really teaching them to, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, in your father's house, you supposed to be being trained to be a wife. Because it don't make sense for me to give you to a man and I haven't been teaching you how to maneuver around him as a wife. That don't make a lot of sense. So for you to go into a situation thinking that your husband would carry on the same way your father did, not giving you responsibility and just take care of you, that's kind of sad when you think about it, because he set you up for failure and he probably didn't even know he was doing that. You know what I'm saying? He probably was just moving in a manner like, this is my baby girl. But it's still your job as a father to teach her how she's supposed to be maneuvering at the end of the day. Because I'm pretty sure your father had responsibilities for your mom, and you supposed to be seeing that. But let's continue. I'm going to go in the Bible later and get some stuff about this.
It doesn't require me to be anything in return. He doesn't need an equal adult. He still doesn't for me. Husband needs an adult. Well,
and they don't want a little girl.
Nope.
They will be there in certain times like that, but that's not what they want.
And my husband would look at me and tell me to stand on my own 2 feet, and I did not like that.
My husband said, you need to think for yourself.
Yes, see, like,
I'm always thinking for you. Like, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like, so it ain't just me. You know what I'm saying? I know I be seeing this all the time with a lot of sisters, especially on these different panels. I like seeing the conversation. I like to see what people's minds at. Sometimes women move in a manner where it's like, I know you smarter than this. Just make the decision. Like, if you know I'm not gonna have an issue with what you're doing, just do it. So it's other young men that's married that's going through the same thing. But the reason for that is because they wasn't taught to have their own mind growing up. You was allowed to get away with stuff that you should have got checked on growing up. It is what it is. All of us are learning, right? All of us are learning on the fly. A lot of us wasn't taught how to be husbands. A lot of us wasn't taught how to be wives. So we having to learn on the fly. But some stuff, it should be, you know what I'm saying? You should come along with it a little bit quicker. And I feel like a lot of women, they try to hold on to that. They need that patience, which y'all should get it. Y'all should get that patience to, you know what I'm saying, to make mistakes and try to get better. But the mindset, that's the issue. It's the mindset of not having responsibilities and not thinking for yourself and not doing things, taking the initiative to get things done, having to be told, having to be micromanaged. That's the issue. Let's continue.
And it's just like, yes. I love it.
But, you know what I'm saying, that's dope for them, to, you know what I'm saying, to sit down and talk through that. But I want to go in the Bible real quick. And hopefully they start correcting that, because some of the stuff that they talking about got to be addressed. And it's crazy because A lot of times, a lot of men don't even speak about this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But this is what be going on in these marriages where it's like, okay, a woman can talk about how unhappy she is in a marriage, but how many men gonna come out and say how unhappy they are because they woman move like a kid? You don't really see it. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 24. Hast thou daughters, have a care of of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them, because that's what most men do. You got your daughter, you know what I'm saying? That's your little princess, and when she do shit that you wouldn't allow from her mom, you got to check that. It ain't cute. Stop showing yourself too cheerful towards your daughters. You got to be correcting them and teaching them the same way you would do with your son. Let's continue. Verse 25, marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter. So if you gonna marry your daughter, right? If you gonna get her to go through the process to get married, why wouldn't you be training her to be a wife? Why wouldn't you be training her so when she do get into this marriage, this man don't hate her? That's what the scriptures even talk about that. Unless she be hated. Why? Because she moving out of order. I think that's in Ecclesiastes 42 or 36 is one or the other, I believe. Why would she be hated? Because she don't know how to move as a wife. She don't know what to do. She don't know. Let's get some more. And I can understand if you don't know and you trying to learn. You know, so you get some grace for that, but you got to start learning on the fly. Because as a man, if I wasn't raised to be a husband, I'm not gonna get that much grace and patience to figure that shit out. I got to learn on the fly very quickly, because if I don't, my family gonna be out on the street. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. So he said, the words that I commanded, these words which I commanded, so these are the commandments. This should be in your mind. Verse 7, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. That's the boys and the girls. It's a lot of commandments dealing with marriage. There's a lot of commandments on how a man supposed to deal with his wife and how a wife supposed to deal with her husband. Thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house. Because when different scenarios happen in the household, right? You supposed to be teaching your daughter and your son, hey, look, this is how you handle this situation. Okay, you see how this just happened right here? This is how you maneuver around this. You teaching them how to maneuver in a household. You teaching them how to be husbands and wives. That's how that go. And shall teach and shall talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way. Because when you just out and about, when you at the store, when you at the mall, when you know what I'm saying, when y'all going to restaurants, when you see different stuff, you can parallel it back to the scriptures. Hey, you see what she just did right there? Look, as a wife, you can't move like that. You see how she fussing at her husband over there at the table? You see how she banging on the table? No, you don't do that according to this scripture right here. You see how that man right there just got up and ran out because he didn't want to pay the bill? See, as a man, you supposed to, if you don't work, you don't eat, according to this. So if you ain't got the money, you shouldn't be in the restaurant in the first. You teaching your kids how to maneuver. So he said, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou rises up, because at nighttime, you know what I'm saying, before they go to bed, you teaching them different stuff. You know what I'm saying? People read bedtime stories and like that, but you can teach them the scriptures as well. It's a lot of stories in the Bible that you can pull something out to teach your kids something. When they wake up in the morning, teach them some more. But how do we get to these? How do we get in this mode where women are being raised by what they would say is good parents, and they're not being prepared for life? That's the sad part. They not being prepared for life. You put your daughter behind the 8 ball now. She having to figure this shit out on the fly in a marriage when she supposed to already knew that. We got to stop doing that. So the people that's raising little kids now, get in the mode of teaching your children how to maneuver as a husband and a wife, and stop just throwing them out the damn nest and they just plummeting straight to the damn ground. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's get some more. See, Especially a lot of these Christian women, you know what I'm saying? They don't they say they want to be Proverbs 31 women, but I don't think they truly read this and actually meditate on what it is saying that this woman was doing on a day-to-day basis or what she was doing. This lady was busting her ass. Let's read this. This is Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. She irreplaceable, bro. You find a woman like this, it's priceless, bro. Verse 11, the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. That's coming into play when her husband telling her, you got to think for yourself. You got to stand on your own 2 feet. I can't trust you to do what's right because you don't think for yourself. It's hard for me to trust you to just make these small decisions in life that you really don't need to talk to me for. If we've been married for a certain amount of time, just do it. If you know that's what I need you to do, just do it. He said the heart of her husband does safely trust in her. He trusts that she gonna do what's right. He trusts that she gonna get things done. I don't have to worry about her cheating on me. I don't have to worry about her doing all this other bullshit because I can trust that she gonna move in the right spirit. I just want to touch on some of these. I'm going to just touch on the beginning of them because it's showing she take initiative. Verse 13. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. She taking initiative. Verse 15. She riseth also while it is yet night and giveth meat to her household. She take initiative. She got up before everybody got up and made food. Verse 16, she considereth a field. That's taking initiative. She girded her loins with strength. That's initiative. Verse 18, she perceiveth that her merchandise is good. She creating stuff. I'm pretty sure her husband shouldn't have to tell her to do stuff to make money. Verse 19, she layeth her hands to the spindle. Verse 20, she stretcheth out her hand to the poor. I hope y'all seeing all these is actions. All these is things that she's doing. She's making things happen. If as a husband, right? If I'm having to tell you to do all that shit, that's frustrating. Especially when you know what need to be done, because that's what women like to say, right? They like to say that they want their man to just know that they're supposed to be doing a certain thing. It's the same thing for women. But most times, men don't speak on it. We just let that shit go by and we just, you know what I'm saying? We just eat that. But you know, it is what it is. I want to go back through it one more time.
My husband can't be my dad, and I had to separate. And I'm literally sifting through, like, we went through this journey. He didn't require that of me. It was something that I found in myself. But like, I'm articulating it for the first time because you helped me find that place. Because you bomb. But like, I felt.
I want to ask a question though, because it's okay. If you wanted your husband to be like your dad, do you listen to your husband the way you listen to your dad? Like, is there any type of back and forth in these different situations when your husband tell you to do something though? Because that's the dynamics between a father and a daughter, because you can't just say no to your father. When your father told you to do something, you understood that he had your best interest in mind for the most part, and you did it. The back talk, you got punished. You act like you didn't want to do something, you got punished. So that's a thing that I would want to know in a situation like this. Do women who feel like they husbands should be more like their dad, do they give their husbands that same respect that they would give their father, in terms of, if I tell you to do something, you just do it, and I ain't got to keep on telling you the same shit over and over? That's a question.
Like, a husband would come and make me feel and take responsibility for me in a way a father does. But here's the difference. My father doesn't require me to be anything in return. He doesn't.
I don't know. It's kind of funny listening back to it, because it's like more things popping up in my head. Because you got to think about it, right? Your wife was created to be an assistant for you. You're not an assistant for your father. That's your mother's job. Your mother is his assistant. So you just really just getting the princess treatment. So to be in that mindset is kind of weird, because you're literally supposed to be being groomed to be an assistant to your husband. You supposed to be trying to help him get to a higher level. That's your, you know what I'm saying? That's your purpose. That's what they, and with the Adam and Eve, help meet for him. Help is assistant, meet meaning right, meaning fitted, perfectly fitted for him. Assistant just for him. So it's kind of, you know, just a thought.
Need an equal adult. He still doesn't for me. My husband needs an adult. Well,
And they don't want a little girl.
They don't want a little
They
girl.
will be there in certain times like that, but that's not what they want. You
And
know?
my husband would look at me and tell me to stand on my own 2 feet, and I did not like that.
My husband said, "You need to think for yourself."
Yes, see, like
I'm always thinking for you.
Like,
I didn't get that.
It's cool though, seeing these women like talk through that, because this is that self-examination that's needed to improve. You know what I'm saying? For you to see that in yourself, see that your husband don't like that. Now it becomes, it's on you to change it. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool, you know what I'm saying, to watch them do this. But for the other sisters that's probably going through this, who haven't done the self-examination, who haven't, you know what I'm saying, put that type of thought process and meditation to this, pay attention to what be going on in your household. Your husband shouldn't be having to tell you the same shit over and over again. He shouldn't have to micromanage you. He shouldn't have to do all that. So I thought it was cool to watch them do this. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I'm out.